guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about how to make a good study plan, how to make sure that you're hitting all of those targets, making sure that your language is progressing pretty evenly, and being better prepared to get the most out of your language study sessions. I've just recently started learning Mandarin, and it's been so crazy starting from scratch again and working out how to get the most out of my study sessions. This time around, I'm a lot shorter for time. I've got my 11-month-old daughter to be looking after, whereas when I was learning Dutch, I had all the time in the world. So I've had to be a lot more focused and a lot more prepared this time around, and I thought I would share those tips with you guys to help you also study your planning sessions. So if you're interested in how I find time for languages and how I make my study planner, then keep on watching. The easiest way to make a study plan is obviously work from the top down. So what I mean by this is by starting with your goal, what do you actually want to achieve in that language, and then breaking that goal back down into bite-sized chunks that you can squeeze into your free time. So say, for example, that your goal is to have a really basic conversation with a grandparent who speaks that language, or you'd like to watch your favorite TV series without using the subtitles, or that you maybe want to reach an A2 level vocabulary within a 6-month period. So you take that goal and then you want to break it down into the bite-sized chunks. So for reference, A1 is about 500 words vocabulary, A2 is about 1,000, and B2 is 2,000, and so on and so forth. So you want to learn 1,000 words and you want to reach this goal in 6 months. So essentially you'd have 1,000 words, 6 months. Now, what do I need to learn per month to reach that goal? You'll be needing to learn 165 new words per month to make sure that you reach that goal. This broken down again would be 40 new words a week, which means that you're learning about 7 new words a day. So once you've got these bigger goals that are broken down into smaller bite-sized chunks, you can then move on to the next stage of planning your study sessions. So in this stage, you want to be working out your free time. How much time do you actually have to commit to studying a language? What I like to do again is work from top to bottom. So I use a planner and I block out all of the time that I don't have free. Things that I cannot cancel, I cannot move, things that need to be done then and there. And I mark them all in and block out that time as unusable time. I, for one, am someone who likes to sit down and concentrate and block out a section of my day for language study. Some other language YouTubers here will encourage you to squeeze every single minute out of your day. Do flashcards on the toilet. Use Quizlet when you're standing in queue to order a coffee. I do not learn like that. I need to be focused. I need to sit down. I need to know that this is my time to study languages. And I know that I remember that information that I've taken the time to review much, much better. So I've blocked out all of the time that I don't have available for language study. This will leave over chunks of time where you're actually free. Now you want to look at how much free time you have, reassess your goals, and make sure that those two things match up with each other. Do you actually have enough time in your week to be learning 40 new words? I like this approach because it's a really nice visualization of where your free time is going and how much free time you actually do have. This is the perfect time to reassess those goals, make sure that your goals and your free time actually match up with each other. And getting this first bit right is really essential to making sure that your goals are met and that you actually progress in your language study. The more likely you get these two things right, the more likely you are to be consistent and over a longer period of time. You're actually going to want to study. So once you've figured out how much free time you have, reassess those goals, make sure they match with each other, and then you can move on to the next step. The next part of planning is planning out what you're going to study and when you're going to study that. I've mentioned this in a previous video, but there are 4 main parts of language input and output. So the first 2 are speaking and listening, and then the second 2 are reading and writing. When you're planning out your study sessions, you want to make sure that you're covering the 4 main parts of language but then also time set aside for reviewing and grammar. If you are planning out your week and you notice that all of your practice and all of your study sessions that week are revolved around speaking exercises, you already know that you're neglecting the other 3 main parts of language. When you've got an overview, you can make sure that your study sessions are well balanced and that your language is going to progress in all areas at the same time. In saying that, some of these topics can be combined together. You do not need to set aside time 30 minutes speaking, 20 minutes writing, 10 minutes listening, and then an hour of reading. For example, speaking and listening go really well together. 30 minutes of conversation practice with a language partner would count as 30 minutes of speaking and listening practice. Another good 2 that go together is obviously listening and writing. You can listen to a piece of audio and write out what you heard. So combine these, find exercises that you enjoy doing, covering topics that really interest you. This really is the key to making sure that you stay motivated, language learning stays fun for you, and that you're going to make the most amount of progression and make the most out of those study sessions. Combine these things, but make sure you've got a good balance of exercises. Another benefit of having all of your study sessions planned before you begin them is that you know what resources you're gonna need to have prepared before you start. So if I know that I'm practicing listening this afternoon, I know that I need to look up that piece of audio before I tick into study time. You don't want to set aside the only free 30 minutes that you've got in the day and spend 15 of that looking up your resources or spending 10 minutes trolling the internet to try and find that piece of audio. Have these things prepared already so that when the clock does tick over into study time, you're ready to go. You're going to make the most out of that 30 minutes that you've set aside. The last step of having an effective study plan is being consistent and keeping yourself motivated. I know what works really well for other users and other language learners is Duolingo, and not because Duolingo is great, because it's not, but because of the streak feature that they have on their app. It makes you want to continue learning and it makes you want to uphold that streak run. You can make your own streak run. So what I usually do is put a calendar sheet up on the wall and you just cross out or tick or color in, whatever you like to do, the day that you've done, just even if it's just a little bit of study practice. Create your own streak. Once you see 3 or 4 or 5 ticks in a row, you're gonna wanna keep studying every single day. Whether it's 10 minutes or an hour, it doesn't matter, as long as you've had some time of that day thinking in your other language or being exposed to it, then that counts. So what I've done is made a template, and I'll leave the download link in the description box below. There's a weekly planner, there's some examples of exercises. I go into the 4 parts of language with a little bit more detail. It has a month planner, so you can create your own streak run. So all you need to do is fill in your information and hang it up on the wall and go for it. Hopefully with these tips, you find that your language study is a little bit more balanced and that your language progresses a lot faster because you're tackling all of those different parts of language and you're a little bit more prepared. If you have any tips or programs or things that you like to plan study or any apps that you like to use, please let me know. Leave them in the comments below. I love trying them out. I want to do a video about the differences between Anki and Quizlet and some other memorization programs, so please leave them in the comments below. If you liked this video or learned something new, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm and it helps my channel out a lot. And if you like watching videos about language and language learning, then please subscribe to my channel and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.